let's start this. We have our Inside Recovery special alumni edition that we're doing today, and we have one of our alumni, Katy B, on, and we're excited to hear what brought her to APN and her journey to APN, at APN, and now after APN. And we're just so excited to hear her progress. So that being said, we're just going to dive right into it. So Katy, what brought you to APN? What were some of the events that led up to that?
I last summer had some unfortunate trauma events that occurred in my childhood come up in memories that I wasn't aware of before. I was very aware of all of the other trauma part, and COVID kind of made the walls close in more, and so those came out of the woodwork, and I spiraled pretty fast. I couldn't get them out of my head, replaying, and so I drank and I drank and I drank and I drank, and one time I looked up and my house was full of chaos, and I said, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
So I reached out to people in my family that have therapists, that have resources. I have a sister who's been in recovery for quite a while, and she said, listen, call this woman. And so I called someone at a recovery center here in Denver, and she gave me contact info for somebody from APN, actually, and said, I think this is right up your alley. They have a really great trauma program. And at that point, I knew my relationship with alcohol was really bad. I just didn't know what it was. So I had enough bandwidth to reach out, and over a couple of days was able to get everything together and head up there.
Awesome. Now, what kind of connections? A lot of times, people have, their ideas of what treatment will look like, or if they've been to a place, and we at APN, we feel like we have a very special campus and a special staff. What were some of the connections you made, not only with staff, but with some of the people you were in treatment with, some of the people you were in a group with? Like, how special are some of those relationships in your life today?
I will tell you, APN is hands down my favorite place in my life. The staff saved my life. And I actually have 3 women that I was in group with, and 1 woman that I wasn't, but that was in at the same time as me. And one of them is my very best friend. She lives in another state, and we talk all the time. She comes out here constantly. We see each other every month or two. And it's incredible. It is a relationship like I've never had before, because it is totally honest. We know everything about each other, and there's no expectations.
Yeah,
it's amazing. And there's no, well, I did this for you, or there's no drama in it. And it's something I've never experienced in the other relationships from the women there are the same. And every relationship I've had in recovery where I've made good friends in AA, it's a kind of relationship I can't explain other than instant unconditional love and support.
Yeah, it's
incredible.
Awesome. Yeah. And that's our goal too. When we work in treatment, it's for those relationships to connect. And we're so excited for that.
Yeah. And the staff are incredible and always there. Yeah. Always. No matter what other crisis is going on, someone is there. And I never felt alone. I never felt like I was troubling somebody, even though that's one of my vulnerabilities. I felt safe asking for help. I felt safe talking about painful things, or sharing really how I was feeling.
Yeah,
I felt very supported.
Awesome. So when did you leave APN? Like, where are you? Are you 6 months out, or are you a year and a half out? What's your time frame?
I am actually it's under 2 weeks to my year of sobriety.
Yeah, that's all. I kind of knew that was coming up. How cool is that?
It's incredible.
All right, cool. So let's pivot to, so when you left, what's like family life been like, and work life, or how's the recovery look? Are you seeing a therapist? Are you in AA? How's it all look now that you've left APN?
As you know, I ended up going back a few months later, and in between the two visits, I was in IOP. I had my therapist, my psychiatrist. I was in AA, even though I wasn't quite sure what was going on. Actually, November 21st was the day I had that aha God shot of, yeah, I am an alcoholic, after reading about it doesn't take a giant quantity or years and years for it to be part of who I am and my story. So, and so I got right into AA, sponsorship. Life was still unmanageable because I learned very quickly that alcohol was but a symptom. And that 28-day stay was not long enough for me. But there was still a lot of the PTSD and the complex childhood trauma that needed attention immediately. So I came back to APN, and that was incredibly difficult, but the wisest thing I could have done.
Yeah.
So, and now since leaving there, I graduated IOP, I graduated OP at a women's recovery center here in Denver, and still have a recovery psychiatrist. I've moved on from therapy, and now I'm looking for a life coach. I need different. I've been fully active in AA. I'm actually on my 6th step, and am in meetings all the time. I have a home group. I am of service, and life was difficult. Life was tricky when I first came out. It was challenging to know how to navigate life where I cannot use the same maladaptive behaviors I could before. They were unhealthy, and it was up to me to change those behaviors. And I just focused on, what was coming next today. What can I do today? What do I need to do today? And first and foremost, my sobriety first, and then being present for myself and my family second. Which is something I am not good at. The squirrel thoughts, the moments, this, that, living in the past, worrying about the future. And it takes time. And as a very impatient person, naturally, that was really tricky. And it gets easier, and it becomes more of a, second nature.
Yeah.
Where you can bring yourself back in, and you can pause, and, being able to really have the ability after treatment to look at my character defects without those glasses on, and know that I am a part of every situation I'm in, regardless of whether or not what somebody else did was hurtful, or, I'm responsible for me and only me. And it's up to me to change that. And so, just took everything, took it down, was back essentially to being an infant. Everything I'd ever known I had to get rid of and build myself back up. And I learned to love myself for the first time in my life. I'm going to try not to cry. And it's been incredible, very powerful. And if I wasn't totally willing to do literally whatever it takes to save myself and my beautiful little family, I mean, I'm so grateful that I had that in me.
Absolutely.
And I continue to. I have a huge group of recovery friends that I reach out to all the time. My sponsor is incredible. My family is supportive. And I just talk. I'm open. I'm honest. I talk. I continue to do research. I read books, work on my relationships outside of alcohol, just in the recovery of learning how to be a functioning human, an adult. Never done that. Also in parenting. It's been incredible.
Well, what I would say too is that, like, if someone breaks their arm, there's one, hey, let's set the bone, let's put them in a cast, put her in a cast, and then the arm will heal, right? For mental health and addiction, it's not like that, right? And you mentioned a lot of things, and it's what we pride ourselves on, and I think you talk about this, is like, hey, we're going to give you as many different options, whether there's some spiritual options, some clinical options. Hey, let's read some books, let's do some yoga, let's work on our physical health, let's work on our diet. It's a combination, and it's different for everybody. Some people might focus on X, Y, or Z. Somebody else might be something else. So what are some tools that you maybe learned at APN that you're still practicing today, or maybe you're not practicing and you're like, oh man, I want to get back on, doing yoga or journaling or something like that? Do you have anything specific like that?
Oh, absolutely. So first and foremost, DBT. Incredible. The one skill that I think was integral in my recovery process and allowing me to be where I am is radical acceptance. And I knew nothing about that before APN. And learning how to using those tools for interpersonal relationships is so huge for me. Being able to turn my mind, not allow myself to be so affected by everything, and look at the facts and then figure out what response I need. I mean, that was hands down so essential. And then, being like, okay, well, it is what it is, and let it go. Was so important to not constantly be in that heightened state, like I have been my whole life, and letting those go and exploring a spiritual experience, understanding that there are 4 elements to myself and to my recovery, which is mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical, and that they all play a part together, and they're all equally as important, and to check in with those. That was not something I'd ever done before. And then I did a psychodrama, and it changed my life forever in an incredibly powerful way. And
good old Arlene. Was that Arlene doing the
I love
psychodrama?
her so much. I want to take her home in my pocket.
Yeah.
And then my therapist, the second time around, the most important thing that I took home with me was intention. To always check my intention.
Yeah.
What is my intention? Is it to be manipulative? Is it to hurt others? Is it to be selfish for me? And then if the intention is appropriate, is the response or action, is it going to hurt someone else? Is it going to hurt me?
Yeah.
And I check my intentions all day, every day.
And that's not to
helped
step on,
so much.
and not to step on what you're saying. That's such a rare thing, right? And not to be I'm going to quote somebody, but Socrates, who everybody knows who Socrates is, he said an unexamined life is a life like not worth living. Like it's difficult to look back at my life and say like, well, hey, what did I do well today? And well, hey, where did I fall short today? And then look at that and be able to kind of move forward and continue to grow. Everything you've been talking about, the theme of the call is that you're still continuing to want to grow. There's no finish line, and that's exciting.
I will continue to grow and make progress and learn and change for the rest of my life.
That's awesome.
That fire is so raging, and you can always grow and learn. And I'm teaching my children the same thing. We make mistakes. We're human. That's how it goes. And if we don't learn from those mistakes, we can't grow.
Yeah.
And looking back at my past isn't with shame or resentment or guilt. It's learning from those experiences. What went wrong there? What part did I play? What was my intention? Was I covering it with something else and making it look different?
Sure.
Because I am darn good at that. And so I have to have my past. I have to have it there to look back on and to remember, because if I forget, those behaviors will come back real fast.
Everything you're saying is awesome. And it's so true. So let's quickly pivot. So I think it was last week, 2 weeks ago, there was an alumni event on campus.
Last week, yeah.
Can you quickly tell us what it was like coming back on a campus, connecting with some of the alumni, connecting with the staff? How did that go?
Oh, it was like it fed my soul. It was, I mean, I can't really, incredible is not the word, but it was, I mean, I felt so light and whole, and for it to come full circle almost a year later, and to be able to hug those people, the staff there that literally saved my life and allowed me to live my life, that I will never forget, um, was, oh, it was amazing, and it was absolutely amazing to go back and to say, hey, I am successful, thank you, and to be able to share that, with clients there, and was a really cool feeling to be kind of on the other end of it and still feel safe. Like I wanted to have a sleepover. Like I wanted to stay.
Yeah.
Um, it is absolutely my safe place,
Yeah.
APN.
Awesome. The last question, Katy, would be, do you have any advice or words of wisdom or encouragement for anybody who's thinking about, hey, maybe APN might be a good fit for me, or hey, I want to go to treatment, or I'm not really sure. Anybody that might watch this, do you have a kind of like hey, this is what worked for me?
Absolutely. Yeah, a couple things. One is ask for help with anything and everything. Um, and you be willing, do your best to do and try everything to the best of your ability. And that ability will be different every day, but to, go to every class, try every, yoga, even if it's optional, be at everything, and do it for yourself. Do it for yourself. Because if you don't do it for yourself,
Yeah.
it's not the same. And I did it for myself. And I went to everything. I was at everything, even if I didn't know if it was still scheduled. I was at every single thing that was scheduled every single day, even if I didn't want to. It,
Yeah.
it didn't matter. I was willing to do everything and anything. And I think that for me, that was the key. And you can't be any worse off by going and trying and going somewhere than you are now.
That's awesome.
Um, so
And not to quote the big book, but the big book says that three keys that are essential to recovery are open-mindedness, honesty, and then what you just talked about is willingness. And if I can stay open-minded, willing, and honest throughout life, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be on a good path. So that being said, thank you so much for coming on Inside Recovery Alumni Edition. And what did we got? 2 weeks until it's a year. How cool is that?
it's
Or
October 3rd, so I think we're like 9 days or something like that. I try not to count anymore because it really, today is what counts.
yeah,
So.
absolutely. And but we're just excited to be here and stay connected with you on your journey. And we're just so pumped that you're able to come on this call. And that's it. We appreciate it.
Thanks
Cool.
for having me. It was
No,
wonderful.
you did.